Welcome to CLSA Law Simplified, simplifying the law for everyone. When negotiating contracts, it is quite common and often necessary for parties to disclose confidential information. For example, an inventor who is negotiating a contract with a manufacturer to help him manufacture and produce his invention would need to supply the manufacturer with the design of his invention. However, the inventor regards all information concerning the design as his valuable property which he wants to keep confidential and not disclose to any other party. So, how does he protect his invention and protect its confidentiality? How does he ensure that the manufacturer will only use the information disclosed for the authorized purpose and not disclose it to any other third parties? In short, how does the inventor keep the information confidential? This is a situation where a NDA is needed. But what is an NDA? NDA stands for Non-Disclosure Agreement. It is also known as a confidentiality agreement. An NDA is a legally binding contract between two or more parties to regulate the disclosure, use, and confidentiality of shared information. Its primary purpose is to define what confidential information is shared, the obligation of the recipient to keep the information confidential and not disclose it to any other unauthorized parties, and for the recipient to use the information only for the authorized purposes. An NDA is commonly used and executed in the following situations. Business negotiations. When businesses are negotiating a contract, an NDA is signed before sharing financial information or business plans during negotiations. B. Partnerships and collaborations. NDAs are signed to protect sensitive information shared during collaborative projects, for example a joint venture. C. Employer-employee relationships. Employees are often required by their employers to sign an NDA to ensure that employees protect company secrets during and even after leaving the company. D. Seeking investments. NDAs are signed when entrepreneurs are seeking investments from potential investors to protect sensitive company data shared with potential investors. Contents of an NDA. NDAs typically have the following provisions. A. Identification of parties. A clause that defines who is the party disclosing the confidential information, called the disclosing party, and who is the party receiving the information, called the receiving party. B. Confidential information. A clause that specifies what information is deemed confidential. C. Exclusion. A clause that specifies what is not confidential information. For example, information already publicly disclosed or obtained without breaching the NDA is often deemed not confidential. D. Obligations of the receiving party. A clause that specifies how the receiving party may use and must handle the confidential information disclosed to it. E. Duration of confidentiality. A clause that defines how long the agreement will remain in effect. F. Remedies for breach. A clause that defines what happens if the NDA is breached. For example, whether the innocent party may sue the defaulting party for damages or injunction. Types of NDAs. Broadly, there are three types of NDAs. A. Unilateral NDA, where one party discloses confidential information to another, and only the receiving party is bound to keep it secret. NDAs signed by employees are usually of this type. B. Bilateral, or mutual, NDA, where both parties intend to disclose confidential information to each other and both are bound by confidentiality obligations. This type of NDAs is common in business partnerships or joint ventures. C. Multilateral NDA, which involves three or more parties, where at least one party discloses information to the others, and all receiving parties are obligated to keep it confidential. Why NDAs are important. NDAs are important for your business because it serves as a foundational legal tool for managing risk, building secure relationships, and preserving the value of your company's most important assets, its confidential information and intellectual property. In conclusion, before you disclose any important confidential information to outsiders, please ensure that you have an NDA in place. Thank you for watching. If you find the sharing useful, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. See you again in the next video.